Hello everyone, welcome to Blissful Warrior Yoga Session, our midday yoga. Hang on a second, adjust a couple of things here. Oh, I think we're good on volume. Welcome, I'm Rhonda Uretsky. I'm the owner of Riverflow Yoga. We are a hot yoga studio located in Lambertville, New Jersey, and right now we are coming to you virtually from our in-home studios, bringing you various forms of yoga, including hot yoga. Yes, you can practice hot yoga at home with a little bit of a space heater focused directly on you and a little bit of space within your home where you can just feel like you're able to unwind, and with the help of our wonderful teachers who will guide you step by step through this challenging and also meditative practice. And you can find hot yoga right here on our Facebook Live, usually in the evenings, in the early mornings. We did have a session this morning at 8 with our wonderful teacher Irene. I am bringing you a practice called the Blissful Warrior. This is a yoga practice that I have sort of curated from my own many years, 45 years of practicing and teaching yoga and various kinds of meditation and mindfulness processes, spiritual processes, things that I feel are really well dovetailed to a hatha yoga practice. Of course they are. I mean, this is what people have been doing in the spiritual community for thousands of years. And so the practice of meditation and being mindful, along with the physical hatha yoga practice of asana and body movement, is really a beautiful way to find your feet. And my friends, it feels like that's what I need today. So I'm coming here to you live to tell you that even the most experienced yoga practitioners or spiritual practitioners, we are practitioners for a reason. We all need to keep practicing in order to find our grounding, find our feet in the face of challenging situations. Sometimes it feels like the things that throw you off balance shouldn't throw you off balance. I know I have this going on a lot in my mind, as a spiritual practitioner, as someone who's been doing yoga for many years. Sometimes I have that thought that when the supposedly littlest thing sort of bubbles up and relatively speaking doesn't feel like a great big deal in the face of a global pandemic or some of the crises that we see, people who are ill or people who are without finances, without some of the more basic comforts of life, that sometimes this little piece of mail that you receive shouldn't be the thing that sends you over the edge, and yet it does. And so I got a couple of those pieces of mail today, and I noticed myself feeling very shaky and very teary, very close to tears. And no matter how much talking you do to yourself to tell yourself, oh, this shouldn't bother me, this shouldn't be the big deal that I'm making it, this shouldn't make me feel this upset, I think all of that talk just makes it worse. Now, on top of feeling the upset that I feel, there's a sense of shame and a sense of self-judgment about not supposed to be feeling this way. So I'm sharing this with you to sort of to be myself and to be here and to be real, which is what the Blissful Warrior is partly about, and also to invite you to arrive here in this practice and just feel however you feel right now. Tax day is coming up in a couple of days. If you're upset or worried or pissed off or angry, if you've gotten a bill that shocks you, if you're noticing that that's the thing that's setting you off today, then so be it. If you read some news, if you're noticing the spikes in the various states around our country that are seeing more cases of this virus, if that's what sets you off, has set you off in this moment, so be it. There is no better or worse thing for you to be upset about or to be happy about. It's just you are where you are in this moment, and you are feeling whatever you are feeling. And as you arrive in this practice, in this Blissful Warrior practice, of course, I would like to help you to find little moments where you can feel just a little bit better and pivot away just a little bit from this upset or this upsetting feeling that you might be having in this moment. But if you don't, If you're here and you've arrived in tears and you've arrived in anger or upset or sadness, then you're welcome here. So let's just arrive as we are. As I said, I'm feeling quite teary, really quite upset in this moment, and it's really okay. I'm not going to make myself wrong for feeling the way I feel, and I invite you to do the same. Whatever you're feeling is not only valid for this moment in your life, wouldn't it be lovely if it was actually a part of the path in your life? That there's nothing wrong going on here. That you're having your reactions and your feelings and your noticings and your preferences as you live this life. And they're all part of your path. They're all part of this journey called your life. But wouldn't it be lovely, wouldn't it be lovely to have some practice that can help you just pivot into feeling a little bit softer or a little bit more grounded or a little bit calmer or a little bit whatever it is that you prefer to feel in these moments where you suddenly feel like blindsided, like something has just bubbled up and taken you into a feeling that isn't pleasant. So let's arrive. Here you are. Have a seat. Sit on the floor, sit in a chair, lie down on the ground. Just arrive. I find for myself, the most soothing position is to sit on the floor, to sit on a cushion, sitting a little forward of the cushion so my hips are tilted down a little bit. I'm going to rest my arms at my sides. Go ahead and try a comfortable resting position for your arms. Palms facing up for me. You can try palms up or down. If you're lying on the ground, go ahead and allow your legs to be straight out. Maybe your heels will touch a little bit and your toes will flop apart. Let your arms be far enough away from your body that you can almost feel like they're very, very limp even as they're lying on the ground. In other words, settle yourself around a little bit and find a place where you can be in your body and feel a sense of soothing and comfort. If your body is not a place where you usually feel soothed, if it's a place of blame and judgment for you or self-loathing, just lie down. Just for now, let's let all of that go. As much as you can, as much as you're able right now. Let's start taking some deep breaths. I can't promise you that everything will instantly change for you in this session, that you'll suddenly stop being upset about that upsetting piece of mail that came today. But I can promise you that as you take deep breaths, something inside of you will just begin to click a little bit differently. So don't take my word for it. In fact, don't take my word for anything that I'm telling you. Despite all of my years of practice, I'm here to share the practices with you and allow you to experience whatever soothing you're able to glean from this midday practice. And I find the middle of the day to be one of the best times, aside from first thing in the morning, which is my meditation time. It's the time when you first wake up and you're going to potentially be the clearest, have the most mental clarity. But in the middle of the day, you might have already encountered that piece of mail or that irritating person, or even had the half of the day to have these worrisome thoughts. So pulling back right here in the middle of the day is just a really nice respite. Allow yourself this respite. We're just going to do a half an hour today. So you can give yourself a half an hour to feel soothed, knowing that when you find your feet and you find that soothing foundation, the rest of your day, this foundation becomes a jumping off point for the rest of your day. You don't have to be one of those people who says, I'm having a bad day or I'm having a bad week. You can really isolate it to just a bad few moments. A sad piece of mail, a sad encounter. Doesn't even have to be the whole half of the morning, half of the day. It can just be a moment if you can catch yourself. So here we are, catching ourselves, holding ourselves. First soothing place that you can find to sit or lie down, go ahead. Let's start taking some deep breaths together. Close your eyes if you'd like. Keep your eyes half masked if you'd like. Keep your eyes fully open if you'd like. We don't often ask ourselves, what do I prefer in this moment? What feels best? So I'm inviting you to ask yourself that now. Notice you're the only one who can know the answer to that question. You can't even plan this answer in advance. You show up in the present moment and you simply feel your way around. What feels like soothing to me right now? So I'm going to keep my eyes lowered a little bit. Sitting up, if you're sitting in a chair or sitting on the ground, lean back a little bit. Pull your collarbones wide. Feel like you're squeezing your shoulder blades together behind you and allow your chin to drop a little bit. Let the tongue rest on the roof of your mouth a little bit. Notice these are all a little bit. Tiny little movements, little adjustments, little pivots towards a better feeling you in this moment. Inhale, nice deep breath, in through your nose, but sense the sound in the back of your throat, like a big loud ha sound coming in. Keeping your collarbones wide and your chin dropped. Holding here for a moment, keeping the breath in. And then exhale. Again, the exhale is this very loud ha sound in the back of your throat. And let the breath stay empty for a moment. Keep your belly deflated. Let your tailbone drop down, and then tuck your tailbone a little up towards your belly. And you'll feel a little bit of soothing traction in your lower spine. Inhale. And exhale. Follow the sound of your own breath, that loud ha sound in and out, imagining it coming in through your throat, but knowing you're bringing it in through your nose. Inhale. Hold it here, and exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Allow your chin to drop. Let the breath stay empty. Inhale. Collarbones wide, chin dropping down, tongue resting on the roof of your mouth, and exhale. Now for the last two breaths, I'm going to invite you to close your eyes softly. So let's shut out this sense door of sight. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Letting your chin drop, leaning back a little bit. Take a few normal breaths. Maybe you'll notice that your normal breathing is a bit slowed, and breathing in and out through the nose and hearing it in the throat begins to sound more natural. Keep the collarbones pulling wide. Notice the tendency, especially if you came here with some worry or sadness, for the shoulders to slump down and maybe curl in a little. Just keep pulling the collarbones wide. Last breath. In. And exhale. Now just checking in for a moment and notice how you might be feeling. I can tell you that I absolutely feel more calm. Really, before I felt as if the ground was just shaking under me, and right now it feels like I'm grounded. That beautiful word, just grounded here, but in a really soft way. Maybe you can notice that there's just something a little bit soothing, a little bit softer about the way you feel after just doing the most natural thing in the world, breathing, but doing it deliberately. So now slowly begin to open your eyes as you inhale, just letting in little slits of light, raising your eyes up to the middle of your screen, and then all the way up. And from your position, wherever you are, lying down, seated on the ground, seated in a chair, just let your eyes find something that they'd like to rest on. Usually it's the very first thing when you're looking around that you feel like you'd like to stop there. This is a beautiful way to bring yourself back into the present moment using your sense organ of sight. I'm looking at a beautiful velvet pillow, blue indigo velvet pillow. And now we're going to expand just a little bit on what I've learned is called the 5 senses recycling exercise that you really do from this position of being where you are, seated or lying down, but just using your 5 senses to increase the sense of soothing that you feel right now. This is a beautiful thing to do when you're feeling agitated, and it takes moments. And of course, when you're agitated, you may or may not have the wherewithal to remember to do these things. You're already caught in the agitation. So I'm going to teach you this little thing, and if you can teach it to somebody else and have them do it for you or with you when you're agitated, you're going to notice how almost instantly you are able to shift from the deeper level of agitation to something a little more grounded. So, continuing to look around your room, using your sense organ of sight, I'd like you to identify and say aloud to yourself, right here in the room where you're practicing, 5 orange objects that you see in your room. Now, orange might not be a very common color, so here you are, focusing with your eyes, looking for 5 orange objects. So, I can see orange in a painting. Beautiful painting that my father painted many, many years ago. It's a moonscape, and the rocks are orange. I can see some orange in an old photograph of my son when he was a baby. His skin has sort of an orangey glow. The light on my surge protector is orange. And there it is again. There's some golden orange color in a frame around this beautiful painting that I'm looking at. Now I'd like you to just stay right here and listen for 5 sounds that you can identify in the room with you right now. So getting very, very quiet and listening. I can hear the hum of my air conditioner. And now I can hear the buzz underneath the hum. I can hear the music. I'm hoping you can too. I can very, very faintly hear some outside noise out my window. almost feels like I can hear the pulsing of my own blood. So I think that's 5, and hopefully you've identified your 5 using the sense organ of hearing. Now let's use touch. So from where you are right now, just reach out with your hands and identify 5 textures. So I'm running my hands along my yoga pants that feel really smooth. And then right here beside me is a rug. And the feeling is furry. And on the other side of me is carpeting. And it's that short Berber carpet. And if I run my hands along it the opposite way, it feels sort of prickly. Right out here in front of me is a wooden table that feels smooth in one direction, and then I can feel the chips in the other direction, a little bit sort of splintery. And the speaker in front of me, running my fingers on the speaker part, those little tiny nubs, feels both smooth and like a pattern texture, very soothing. Okay, so we've used the organs of sight and sound and texture, and here you are. So we've actually done 3 of the 5 senses. There's also the sense of smell, and then going deeper with the sense of sight, you might try to identify 5 plaid or polka dot things around your room. And if you've done this with me, and if you arrived here in any state of agitation, I would just like you to check in right now and notice how you are feeling right now. Now, there is a strong tendency to let your mind jump back to the thing that was bothering you or agitating you when you first arrived, but see if you can resist that for just a moment and be right here. Having done this beautiful 5 senses of recycling and deep breathing, and notice how you have affected your own mood. And exhale. And if you can notice a slight shift towards feeling just a little bit better, you have done yourself a world of good. As I check in with myself right now, I can remember that agitating moment, but the feeling of it is different. And so this is really one of the most beautiful states to be in, to now move into some yoga poses, to actually engage your body when you're in this state of feeling grounded, feeling soothed, really feeling like yourself. So let's do some particularly soothing yoga poses today. If you are a yoga practitioner, if you've been practicing for a long time, you'll love these. If you're new, if you're a beginner, you'll love these. I'm going to talk you through these poses with very specific, deliberate movements. Just follow along to the best of your ability. There's nothing you're here to prove, and nothing you need to feel like you're gaining from these poses, nothing you need to evaluate or judge. Remember that little judgment piece that we all have about what we think we should be doing, that we always seem to fall short of somehow. Well, for right here, this practice of being a blissful warrior is to be a warrior about your blissfulness, and to let nothing, no harsh judgments, especially the ones you have against yourself, don't let them knock you off your feeling of bliss. You've created that feeling right now just with the breathing and the 5 senses recycling. So let's take that feeling into some movement and see how blissful that can be. So let's start by lying down. We're going to do a little camera adjustment here. It's never anything you guys have to worry about or do. And if you're going to just watch these poses today, and I don't want to say just as if that's lesser, you'll still get some benefit from watching. If you'd like to try the poses, then I'm going to give you an opportunity to see how they look. So lying on your back, arms at your sides, palms facing up. Allow your heels to touch lightly, your toes to flop apart. Tuck your chin towards your throat. Pull your collarbones wide. And just play with the distance between your arms and your body. If they're too close, sort of feel like there's a little pull, a little bit of tension. As you move them out more and more, You might feel that place where they just it feels completely relaxing. And you breathe here. Inhale. And exhale, deflate. And drop your lower back. Feel like there's a hand that's slipped under the small of your back, and you're getting to drop into it now. Inhale. Exhale. Let's begin some very gentle movement. And by gentle, I'm saying that the movements themselves are sort of slow and deliberate, but the depth of these movements is surprisingly powerful. Inhale, bend your right knee. Place the sole of the right foot on the ground beside the left knee. Bring your arms in close to your body as you bring your knee to your chest. Bend your elbows and clasp all 10 fingers 2 inches below the right knee. Elbows in your waist. Chin tucked towards your throat. Inhale and more. And as you exhale, pull your collarbones wide apart. Keep your elbows in your waist and guide your right knee to your right armpit. Now it doesn't matter how close the knee gets to the armpit. Really not the point. This pose is opening your hip at the level you are ready for right now. And you can feel it in the satisfaction you feel in the stretch. And you feel some sort of a stretch maybe on top of your thighs, deep in your inner thighs, maybe on the outside of your right hip. You feel it in a variety of places. As long as it's not pain, this feeling is soothing you. Change. Bring your right leg down, sole of the right foot to the ground, and slide your right leg out. Exhale and drop your lower back. Inhale and bend your left knee, sole of the left foot on the ground beside the right knee. Tuck your chin, bring your arms in close, bend your left knee to your chest. Bend your elbow tips and clasp all 10 fingers 2 inches below the left knee, and right away pull your elbows to your waist. As you inhale more, tuck your chin towards your throat. Pull your collarbones wide. Maybe both shoulder blades will be on the mat, and as you exhale, press and guide the left knee to the left armpit. Keep your chin tucked. Keep your elbows in your waist. Keep your outstretched right leg relaxed. Switch your mindset here. This isn't about how close you can get your knee to your armpit. It's about how good you can feel in this pose. Inhale, tuck your chin. Notice how that increases the good feeling behind your neck. Collarbones wide, increases the good feeling across your shoulders. And as you exhale, guiding the left knee to the left armpit. Not with any intention or any goal to get the knee into the armpit. Your goal is blissful, soothing. And in this state of soothing, you find all of your self-empowerment. Just as you did when we first arrived here. If you were agitated, notice that the soothing breath and the 5 senses recycling gave you back your feeling of confidence. And that's where all of your power is. And change. Left leg down and slide your left leg out. Now inhale, bend both knees, place the soles of both feet to the ground, and slowly begin to walk your heels in nice and close. I like to reach out with my hands and grab my ankles and get the heels to really be close. You can try that if you like. If it doesn't feel right to you, that's fine. Arms at your sides. Just lie here for a moment and inhale. As you exhale, squeeze the legs together and bring both knees to your chest. And bring your arms in and wrap them around your knees. And grabbing your wrists, your forearms, or your opposite elbow tips, whatever seems to be available. trying to remind yourself that judgment and evaluation has no place here in soothing. No place in self-empowerment. Inhale, tuck your chin. Squeeze your legs together. And as you exhale, draw the knees close to your chest. And with your arms, keeping your legs squeezed together tight, begin to press your knees outward towards the crooks of your elbows if that's where you're holding. You'll feel this soothing elongation of your spine as the knees close to the chest will open the hips and massage your entire transverse colon. So there's a lot going on in this simple pose. And when you connect to the soothing of it, you are getting all the benefits of it. Inhale, squeeze your legs together. Tuck your chin towards your throat. Relax your feet. And as you exhale, bringing the knees in close to your chest, tucking your chin more, pulling your knees apart, even as you squeeze them together with your arms. And change. As you inhale, release your arms, keep your knees to your chest, arms at your sides, and breathe here for a moment. Feel the sensation of warmth coming back into your arms. Enjoy that sensation. Inhale. And as you exhale, turn your palms to the ground and slide your arms under your body with your hips on your wrists or a little above. Lock your arms together under you. Squeeze your shoulder blades together and tuck your chin. And as you inhale, begin to flex your heels towards the wall in front of you. Flex the toes towards your face. And as you exhale, squeeze the legs tightly together and slowly raise the soles of your feet to the ceiling. Now keep it slow, as if you're unwinding from your knees to your heels. Keep pulling from your heels towards the ceiling and the toes towards your face until eventually it feels as if the soles of your feet are holding the ceiling up. And at that point, your legs might be straight or your knees might still be a little bent. That's fine. Just rotate your knees a little inward towards each other. Pull your shoulder blades together under your body so you feel a little bit of an opening across your chest. Just feeling around for these tiny little internal alignments that help you feel more soothed. And notice as you feel more and more soothed, you actually feel more empowered. These two feelings feel like they might be opposite polar ends, soothing and empowerment, but they are the same. Inhale, pull your heels to the ceiling, flex your toes towards your face, and as you exhale, squeeze your shoulder blades together, tuck your chin towards your throat, and pulling from your heels, slowly begin to lower your legs. It helps if you imagine that you're being held by the heels from a pulley rope from the ceiling that's just beginning to lower you down. Your job is to simply pull from your heels and flex your toes as the ropes lower you. So you can begin to feel this amazing control you have. Pulling from your heels, flexing your toes, making sure you're breathing. As you inhale, pull from your heels. As you exhale, squeeze your shoulder blades together under your body, allowing your legs to be lowered. So this is a beautiful way to get those blood vessels in your legs to fill up again after being drained from being held against gravity. Also to feel the great control you have in your movement. Eventually, pulling from the heels, flexing the toes, your heels will come down. Roll your arms out and take a moment here in Shavasana. Arms far from your body, heels touching lightly, toes flop to the sides, knees flop to the sides. Breathe. Inhale. Exhale. Now I'm going to do a yoga sit-up. So if you have any back issues, please don't do this one, perhaps not today. Just roll over onto your side for today and bring yourself up into a seated position. If you'd like to try a yoga sit-up, here's how we do it. Inhale, arms overhead. Flex your feet, pulling from your heels, pull from your fingertips, tuck your chin towards your throat, elongate your body. Hold your breath at the top of your inhale and sit up. Reach for the ceiling, long back. Reach for your toes, looking at the wall, flat back. Bend your elbows, double jerk, and double exhale through your mouth. Shh, shh. And then sink, forehead to knees. Elbows bent towards your calf muscles. And just allow yourself to hang here for a moment. And then place your palms on your ankles, lifting yourself back up into seated position. Okay. So again, if the yoga sit-up doesn't feel like it's going to be workable for your back today for any reason, you are not obligated to do anything. You are the boss of you. I'm offering you suggestions, and realize that if you don't do the one pose today, it doesn't mean that tomorrow you won't be inspired to want to do it. It means everything at the right time, and you're getting 100% of the benefits of every pose from whichever poses you feel inspired to try. And if you follow my instructions to the best of your ability, those benefits are here for you. Let's do a little spinal twist. So, start with your legs straight out in front of you. Place your palms on your shins, where you can lock your elbows and pull your collarbones wide and let your chin drop a little. Pull your heels forward, flex the toes towards your face, back a little bit, giving you a bit of a view, and sitting up straight. Noticing, if you will, look at some spot on the wall in front of you as you pull from your heels and flex your toes towards your face and rotate your knees in and lock your elbows. Pull your collarbones wide and drop your chin. Notice how absolutely relaxing it is to sit on the floor in this way. Inhale. Now, as you exhale, you can either keep your left leg straight out or you can bend it so that the left knee points forward. Bring your right leg up and over so the right heel is against your left knee corner. If your leg is straight out in front of you, both of your hips are already on the ground. Perfect start. If your knee is bent, you might notice your heel is under your hip. So pull the heel out, settle the right hip down. So now both hips are square. Your right arm comes behind you and you lean into it. So leaning backwards into that locked arm. Left arm by your ear, bend at the elbow coming down around the outside of that knee. With your elbow, push the knee out of the way and reach your hand down. So if you're on a yoga mat, you grab the top edge of the mat in your palm. If you're not, just place your fingertips on the ground so you can lock your arm. And if you'd like to try slipping your hand under your bent knee, as long as the knee stays down and the arm stays locked, try that. Why are you trying these different things? To find the place that feels most soothing for you right now. This is your place of strength in your soothing. This is your place of empowerment. Now as you inhale, lift your chest and begin to pull your collarbones wide apart by drawing your right shoulder behind you. Drop your chin a little. And as you exhale, pushing with that elbow against the knee, tucking your chin a little and look over your right shoulder. And feel this twist, starting from your hips, moving up your middle back. As you pull your collarbones wide and draw your right shoulder behind you, it twists at the top of your spine. Allow your chin to be a little dropped, and with your eyes, look for the next thing behind you, feeling your upper body twist and twist and twist and change. Now alternate. Again, if your legs are straight out in front of you, now it's your right leg that stays straight out, and if not, it's the right knee that bends. Left leg is up and over, the heel touching the knee corner. If your heel is under you, now you pull it out and settle your left hip. So you check with your fingers, right? If you can't get your fingers under your hips, you know both of them are settled. And there's a great soothing in being settled on the ground here. Left arm behind you, lean into it and lock your arm. It's like a kickstand for you. Right arm by your ear and bend at the elbow. down around the outside of the knee. Use the elbow to push the knee away. Then reach your hand down and grab hold. Either the top edge of your yoga mat, fingers on the ground. Notice my arm is locked in either case, or you can slip your hand under the knee. Inhale, lift your chest. Pulling wide on your collarbone. Suck your stomach in. As you exhale, drop your chin a little and look over your left shoulder. So feel this twist originate at your hips and twisting, traveling up the middle spine. Pulling your collarbones wide, bring your left shoulder behind you, moving your right shoulder a little forward, twisting up the upper spine. Drop your chin, look over your left shoulder, and let it twist at the cervical spine. Twist, and twist, twist, and change. Coming back to center. Bring your legs out in front of you again. Pull forward from your heels, flex the toes towards your face, place your palms on your shins. Find a spot to look at. Let's use that sense organ of the eyes again for soothing. Find a spot to look at directly in front of you that just feels like a nice resting place. Lock your elbows. Draw your collarbones. Drop your chin. Keep the tongue on the roof of your mouth. Rotate your knees a little inward. Pull from your heels. Flexing the toes. Take a breath. Inhale. Exhale. Going back to that deep sound in the back of your throat as you breathe in and out through the nose. Beautiful. I'm going to do a pose called half tortoise, Ardha Krimasana. So sit back, hips to heels. It's not always possible to sit hips to heels for everybody, so just starting out this pose, you just want to place your fingertips on the ground and maybe lower your hips to your heels. And sit up nice and straight. Inhale, bring your arms overhead, press your palms together and pull. And lift with your fingertips as if you're lifting up out of your own hips. Pull. Stretch your fingertips to the ceiling and drop your tailbone down a little. Tuck it up and under a little so you feel your legs squeeze together and you lift a little more. And now as you exhale, keep your head between your arms and pull forward as you come down. Feel as if your fingertips are going to touch that wall in front of you on the way down. So you're pulling, you're controlling this descent. You're placing the spot between your eyebrows to the mat first if you can, and then the blades of your pinkies. And fishtail your hands a little forward. Press down into the blades of your pinkies so your wrists are up off the mat. Elbows are locked. Spot between your eyebrows to the mat and hips to your heels. And just breathe right here and feel your middle back in this breathing. Inhale through your nose. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. And now coming out of this pose, press your palms and pull forward. Squeezing your head between your arms, stretching, lifting, feeling the stretch of it, the soothing of it. Back to center and pull. And then drop your arms down. And turn around and lie down for a moment. Shavasana. Bringing your arms far away from your body, palms facing up, fingers curled naturally, heels touching, toes flopped apart. Tuck your chin, collarbones nice and wide. Feel your shoulder blades squeeze a little together under you as you inhale, balloon your belly out. And exhale, deflate. Inhale and turn your palms to the the sides in T position. Walk your fingertips across the rug, pulling, stretching. Feeling the satisfaction of this stretch just feels so empowering. Bring your legs together. Pull from your toes forward as you pull from your fingertips outward. Drop your lower back. Just lying here and pulling for a moment. Inhale. Pull from the fingers. Pull from the toes. Balloon your belly out. And as you exhale, bend your knees, placing the soles of the feet to the ground close to your buttocks. Sort of walk them in a little bit. And squeeze your legs together and tuck your chin towards your throat. And inhale, squeeze the two legs into one unit, squeezing together. And as you exhale, bring your knees to your chest. Inhale, tuck your chin towards your knees. And as you exhale, squeeze the legs together and drop both knees to the right, high up under the right armpit. So you're just aiming the knees up under the armpit, allowing them to stop wherever they stop for today. Just allowing the pull. See if you can keep both shoulder blades on the mat. If you squeeze your shoulder blades together and pull your collarbones wide, you might feel that extra little moment of stretch and soothing. If you don't, you're not doing anything wrong. Inhale, squeeze your legs together and bring them back to center. When your knees are at center, squeeze your legs tight, draw your knees in close to your chest, and as you exhale, squeeze the legs tight and drop both knees under the left armpit. Just feeling this rotation of the hips. It's sort of amazing to just lie here and feel your body move. You'll feel it as stretching or opening or movement. Just relax and allow it to happen. Try not to be afraid of it. Inhale, squeeze your legs together, bring them back to center. When they're at center, draw them in close. Tuck your chin towards your knees. And as you exhale once again, squeezing the legs tight, letting both knees drop under the right armpit. When the knees are as far down as they're going to go today, move your head a little, sliding it along the ground to the right. Tuck your chin down and let your head move so that your left ear is aiming towards the ground. So just turning your head to the opposite side. The more you move your head a little to the right, the easier that ear comes to the ground. Just feel the soothing of this additional stretching, opening. The cervical spine is engaged. Inhale, squeeze the legs together and bring the knees back to center. Bring your head back to center. At center, draw the knees in close, the chin down towards the knees, and as you exhale, dropping both knees under the left armpit, aiming high up under the left armpit. And again, when the knees are as far as they're going to go, just allow them to feel heavy. Tuck your chin, move your head to the left, tuck your chin again, and drop over onto your right. And breathe here. As you breathe, you might hear some clicks in your back. You might feel some additional stretching in your shoulders. Whatever you feel, just know it's appropriate for exactly what you need right now. And inhale, squeeze the legs tight, bring the knees back to center, head back to center. And as you exhale, drop the soles of the feet to the ground, slide your legs out, slide your arms in, palms facing up. Back to Shavasana. Inhale, balloon your belly out. And exhale, deflate. And inhale, turn your palms to the ground. Bring your arms under your body, hips back on your wrists. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Bring your legs together and begin to point your toes towards the wall in front of you. Inhale, squeeze the shoulder blades together under you. And as you exhale, slowly begin to raise your breastbone towards the ceiling. Feel the weight of your body coming to your elbow tips. Now maybe your head doesn't come off the mat today, that's fine. Just keep the weight in your elbow tips and the shoulder blades squeezing together as you pull from your toes. And if your head does come off the mat, don't let the top of your head rest on the mat. Let your head hang. Keep those shoulder blades and elbow tips feeling as if they're being pulled together under your body. Let your toes pull forward as your chin pulls back. So toes towards the front wall, chin towards the back wall. Inhale, lift your chest. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Feel the elbow tips getting pulled together. And exhale, if your head is hanging, feel your chin pulling towards that wall behind you as your toes pull forward. And change. If your head was off the mat, as you inhale, slowly begin to slide the back of your head back down onto the mat. Till your head is all the way down, then roll your arms out from under. Palms facing up, arms far from your body, heels touch, toes flopped apart. You are in Shavasana. Inhale. Exhale. Drop your lower back. Now, if you'd like to try the yoga sit-up with me, please do. If not, just roll over onto your right side and press yourself up into a seated position. So the yoga sit-up. Inhale, arms overhead. Flex your heels. Pull from your fingers. Tuck your chin. Lock your body completely. Stay here at the top of your inhale. And holding your breath, sit up. Reach for the ceiling. Long, straight back. Grab for your big toes. Looking at the wall in front of you. Pull with your elbows, double jerk, double exhale through your mouth. Shh, and sink. Chin to throat. Forehead towards the knees. Elbow tips towards the ground. Just lie here for a moment or sit here and sink. And then coming back up. Palms sliding onto your shins. Lock your elbows. Pull from your heels. Okay. We'll do a little bit of separate leg stretch with forward bend. So bring your legs out into a V shape in front of you. You can keep your legs this way, or you can bend the left leg so the sole of the left foot is against the inner right thigh. Pull from the right heel forward. Flex the right toes towards your face and in a little bit towards the V, open V of your body. Arms overhead on the inhale, clasp all 10 fingers, and pull. Big, strong pull towards the ceiling with your clasped fingers. Feel like your biceps are squeezing your head. Turn towards your outstretched leg, and as you exhale, see if you can throw this net of fingers over the ball of your foot. Maybe you have to bend your knee up to make that happen, so that's all right. Drop your forehead to your knee. Elbow tips towards the ground beside your calf muscle. And breathe here. Give a big, strong breath. Inhale. And then coming up, pull the net of fingers forward. Head still between your arms. Stretch to the ceiling. Come back to center. Keeping your arms overhead, we'll use the abdominal wall to alternate the legs if you're bending. So back into the V, and then the right sole on the inner left thigh, and stretch, reach, lift, turn towards your outstretched left leg, pulling from the left heel forward, the toes towards your face, and exhale, throw this net of fingers over the ball of your left foot. Back into camera view a little so you can see what's happening here. all 10 fingers on the ball of the foot. Maybe you have to get your knee to bend a little to the knee and to have all 10 fingers in the net on the ball of the foot, so go ahead. And breathing here. And then coming up, fingers in a net, head squeezed between the arms, pull up, stretch up. Come back to center, and let's bring both legs out in front of you. Inhale, stretch to the ceiling, lean back a little into your hips, pull from your heels, flex the toes towards your face, rotate your kneecaps inward, and as you exhale, come forward. And see if you can get all 10 fingers to hold the balls of your feet, or you can reach out with your first 2 fingers and hold between your first 2 toes. Look at the wall in front of you. Bring your shoulders away from your ears by dropping your elbow tips down. And as you inhale, lift your chest and drop your chin. And as you exhale, flatten the backs of your knees to the mat by pulling your heels forward. If your knees are still bent, so that's fine, stay right here. And if your legs are flat and straight, your heels are hovering, you can bend your elbow, your chest forward between your shoulders as your elbow tips touch the ground beside your calf muscles. Coming forward and down. Try not to do this if your knees are bent. You just want to say it to yourself. My knees, relax my knees. On every exhale breath, eventually they will. And coming up nice and slow. Place the palms on the shins. Sitting up straight, lock your elbows. Keep your eyes focused on the wall in front of you. Pull forward from your heels. Flex the toes towards your face. Suck your stomach in. Collarbones wide, drop your chin. Keep the tongue resting on the roof of your mouth. Keep your kneecaps rotated inward towards each other. And as you inhale, pull the collarbones wide. As you exhale, begin to lean backwards a little bit, running your hands, keeping your arms locked, but running your palms over your knees. Tuck your chin, coming back one time, running your palms over your thighs, one vertebra at a time. So you go ahead all the way, lie down on your back. I'm going to end in the seated position, talking you through this final Shavasana. So coming down nice and slow, and there you are, back in your final Shavasana pose. So if you started this class with me, I'm laughing because I'm glancing at the clock, and I always say this is going to be a short version, short class today. We were going to do a half an hour, and yet here we are an hour later. You know, as I said, I'm as you are, and as I do these poses and I feel the soothing of it, I don't want it to end either. So here we are an hour later. If you were with me from the beginning, oops, my goodness, I'm actually on low battery, so I'm going to plug in as I'm talking to you. So if you were with me from the beginning, maybe you remember that we started by simply checking in, seeing where your mood was today, what you were feeling, and I certainly confess to you that I was very agitated when we first started this class. Sometimes as the yoga teacher, we have this very deep practice where we know we're about to teach yoga, and yet in our own personal lives we're feeling agitated or upset. We need someone to be our teacher right now. And as we come here to teach you, we become our own best teachers as well. And so I notice doing this beautiful practice, this blissful warrior practice, which is designed to pivot you and soothe you into a place of feeling your self-empowerment. I notice that my own mood has really changed quite a bit, from being agitated, really kind of shaky and teary at the beginning of this class, to feeling stable, grounded, actually soothed. It's just a beautiful place to be. Not only because feeling grounded and stable and soothed just feels better than feeling agitated and upset, but because you have a reawakening of your sense of control over your own moods. And now as I go forward into my day from this place of being soothed, that issue that I have to deal with, potentially, or maybe I'll decide not to deal with it today. But if I do choose to deal with it, then I choose to come to it from a place of soothing and empowerment, which is always going to have a better result and a better outcome. And so here you are lying in Shavasana. Let's take a few deep breaths together so you can feel where you are right now. Inhale nice and deep. Hear it in the back of your throat as you balloon your belly out. And as you exhale, again, you're going to be inhaling and exhaling only through your nose, but you'll deflate your belly now, drop your lower back, feeling as if a hand has been slipped under the small of your back and you're dropping into it. And then when your belly's completely empty, just tuck your tailbone up and under a little towards your belly. Inhale. Collarbones nice and wide. Lying on the ground, you can really feel your shoulder blades come solidly to the ground. And exhale. You can close your eyes now if they're not already. And inhale. And exhale. Deflate the belly. Now always checking in to really bask in this practice that you've done for yourself. Right now you might feel very relaxed and very soothed and calm, but know also that in these poses that we've done today, you've also done a great deal of calibrating and toning for your physical body. So all of that sculpting and toning that you're looking for is also happening. And in many ways it happens from the inside out when you do yoga. The organs, the functions internally get to really line up and be in their best possible humming vibration, and that really does affect the way your body not only looks on the outside, but feels as you move around in this body. So lying here and breathing in Shavasana is a beautiful way to feel empowered by what you've done here in this practice today. No, we didn't work up a sweat as we do in hot yoga. That's another way in. But you've done something very powerful for your physical body, and you can already feel the empowerment you have in your emotional body. So as you lie here breathing, I'm going to end with a reading from my book, which is called The Blissful Warrior. And this is a book about my own journey. And today I'm just going to open a random page and trust that whatever I'm reading is something that I need to hear, as well as you. Nothing is wrong, so you cannot be here to fix anything. You are here to experience everything. You are here to create, playing at life for the experience of it. You aren't an imperfect version to correct. You add who you are to all that is. You are part of a greater, expanding universe, and you are a world unto yourself. You are a valuable contributor and a unique energy. You are a beautiful paradox. Your experiences, no matter how small, are deliberately creating more for everyone. You are a moving part in a flowing universe. Asking when will I be done is like asking when will this universe end. From the deepest part of my heart, today especially, thank you for being here with me to share this Blissful Warrior practice. It really has meant a great deal to me. As the teachers, as the yoga teachers, we are often here teaching exactly what it is that we need to learn in any particular moment. And in this moment, the soothing that I feel and the empowerment that I feel is indescribable. And so I thank you for this opportunity to share this Blissful Warrior practice with you. And I sincerely hope that whatever it is you needed to feel today, that tiny little bit of feeling better, I hope you've been able to accomplish that for yourself. And if not, don't worry about it. I'll be here tomorrow at 12:30, and I hope you'll join me again. I'm Rhonda Uretsky from Riverflow Yoga. Thank you again so much for giving your time to share this practice with me today. See you soon.